Hello and welcome to the Scuffed Express. It's just me, all by my lonesome. Turns out you can't wrangle a bunch of maniacs into doing a Sunday afternoon show after Saturday night. Everybody's just too fucked up for that. Or they're busy, or they, have like adult things to do. So welcome to the Scuffed Express, where we examine the curious case of the Lolcow podcast. A venture that was started about, I want to say, March of this year, 2023. Creation of Phil, supposedly stolen by Keemstar, and it has gone down in flames. I don't think we've ever gotten an official episode. This is a strange one, guys. This is a really strange one. So I guess we'll start off with a recap. Can people give me a hello in chat? Chat. Can chat give me a hello? To know that I am live. Nobody's got a Rumble account. Just make a fucking Rumble account. Yes, thank you. I went through all this trouble of making all these custom gifts. And, nobody uses them. I think they're pretty great. I'm going to have to edit some of them. But of course, I've always had the DSP clips because the DSP, my DSP emotes, DSP is my spirit animal. I've been following DSP for over a decade. God only knows how long it's been. I love him. I love him to death. I love to hate him. I love to love him. I wish him all the luck in the world. But we've gotten a lot of meltdowns this week from DSP. DSP is not doing well. He's doing terribly. I don't know what happened to our man. Makes me sad. Let me pull up my... Let's see. Where do we want to start here? I guess we'll start with a little recap. Big shout out to Dick Stroking Phil Vlogs. We'll use their wonderful little clip up here. Do a little recap of our situation. If you have not followed, if you don't know what the Lolcow podcast was, you're about to learn exactly what it was. Oops. Jeez, I am rusty with OBS, boy. Grab the wrong thing. I've been working too much. Let's get this fitted correctly here. I hope you're all having a good Sunday. Get this fitted right here. I hate fucking YouTube these days. Do you see that YouTube now is like it won't let you actually play videos without it's literally turn off that pesky ad block or you won't be able to watch videos on YouTube now. It's just not, it's completely fucking insane. So I've gotten away with I've sort of gotten away with it, but I never use the browser anyway, so. Never use my main browser to stream from anyway. I learned my lesson on that one. So are you ready? Get started here. All right, let's see.
Boogie bringing this up, listen, I can understand if the guy's strapped for cash, he needs the help, and he's sad he didn't get the $50K, but I don't really think it's fair that that's put on my shoulders. I had no morals whatsoever from the start. Thanks for the money, dummies. Banned. What's going on, everyone? Phil here, and there's something going on right now, a little bit of misinformation all over the internet. I'd like to clear the air about, I guess, some stuff that has been said by various parties regarding my possible involvement.
We're trying to put together a show, that Lolcow podcast that Keemstar pitched. Phil's
Yes,
like, oh, no,
Otters
I
and
don't want
Bears.
to work with Keemstar. I don't want a $50,000 paycheck. I don't want to pay off all my debts and taxes. I'd rather be miserable. I'd rather sit in a corner and cry all over myself for a living, which also cost me a $50K payday, which also cost Wings a $50K payday. So he screwed everybody over. So I think he's trying to make it up with us trying to work with another third party that's not Keemstar. But I don't know. I don't feel like Phil wants his problem solved. I think Phil wants to marinate in the misery of his own creation.
You're a more...
So, little recap here. Phil, Wings of Redemption, and Boogie 2988 we're going to do a podcast called the Lolcow Podcast. And Keemstar was involved. Keemstar says that he sort of originated this idea. Phil says that he originated this idea. Phil tried to basically contact Wings and Boogie and start the show without Keemstar because he's still angry that Keemstar covered him masturbating live on a live stream 8 years ago. And Phil just hates other people getting his money. So Keem offered a great deal. He said, I will give you guys $50,000 a piece. This sounds like an amazing podcast. It sounds like an amazing idea. Highly marketable. We have 3 legends, legacy YouTubers, Wings, Boogie, and Phil. You'll do a podcast where you're just shooting the shit about random topics. And I'll give you $50,000 up front, and we'll start it. I'll promo it. We'll get this rolling. Well, Phil, he wasn't having it. Phil hates Keemstar. Phil doesn't work with people. Phil's not sharing his money. Phil's not degrading himself in any way. Everybody needs to be banned from the chat, even though there is no chat. All negative comments must be swept. There can't be anything that is involved that's an insult to Phil because Phil is God. Okay? So even though Phil has not embraced, you remember how Phil started out embracing, he was the king of hate, he embraced the hate. Well, now Phil wants nothing to do with hate. If you put a cherry in his chat, you get banned. That's detractor emotes. You can't do that. So Phil kiboshed the whole thing. And Phil was basically kicked out of the project. Keem basically vowed revenge. After this, he appeared on Side Scrollers. Nobody could make sense of anything of what Phil was saying because it didn't make any sense. It was nonsensical. Keemstar got on, humiliated Phil, and then Phil's been in pretty tough shape since then. He's not been able to ride off of. He created this DSP Reacts. He created the Level 1 podcast, but it's all been going downhill for Phil. He can't even get mods anymore. He complains bitterly that he can't even get mods to show up anymore, to just ban random people putting like cherry emotes in the chat. I think everybody has basically defected at this point, which makes me sad for Phil because I do want to see him do well. You know, it's hard to, you want to see, nobody's been able to take down Phil. He's been banned off hundreds of platforms. He's been through the ringer. He's had people contact basically everybody he knows. Everybody is turned on him. He's all alone. He doesn't have John Rambo anymore. He doesn't have Howard. Leanna left. He's never been the same since Leanna left. He moved Kat in. She refuses to even appear on camera because she can't take it. And they've gotten into his bank accounts. They examine his mobile gambling addiction. They examine everything about Phil. Everything about Phil is under like this incredible like electron microscope. We're going down to the atomic level to examine everything going on with Phil. And it's got to be tough to be Phil. But this was a money-making opportunity. It was an opportunity for all of these guys to get their heads above water. Of course, Boogie has crashed, burned, took off again, crashed and burned, took off again, crashed, burned. Boogie is now like literally floundering with like a barely legal teen looking girl, just begging for money on stream. Phil has been begging for money for about a decade. And Wings also has been begging money for about 5 years. All of them have wasted every last bit of money they had at the top. And they're grinding themselves into the dirt trying to make the money, and they're all miserable. So it would have been perfect. It would have been a cacophony of misery podcast. And here, we'll let Phil sum this up here. It's only about 4 minutes.
Moron, you're nuts. Why is he publicly talking about it? I was never in the Lolcow cast, you tremendous egotistical brain-dead idiot. It came up on my Oblivion stream tonight, and I'm like, this is weird because it's derailing my stream. And
Kim was in his chat saying, why haven't you picked up the phone, Phil?
I like talking about nonsense that has nothing to do with said session. So what I decided tonight to do is, let me just make a video talking about what's really going on. So I'm making a special video derailing my other content talking about this. So here's the deal. This all started where I guess Boogie went on a podcast. It might have even been the Side Scrollers podcast. And in an interview was talking about the whole idea of me, him, and Wings being on a podcast that was going to have Keemstar's involvement. And I guess Boogie still has some resentment there where he's upset. I cost him and Wings $50,000. That is completely true. What apparently the idea was that Keemstar had is that he wanted to do what he called a Lolcow podcast, me and Wings and Boogie, and he was apparently going to pay us $50,000 each as a signing bonus, and we were going to each own a certain percent of the show. Keemstar wanted to essentially make money off of us doing a show. Now, he was
unacceptable
to them he had no right to promise. Oh, I'm going to give you $50,000 if Darkside Phil will do the show too. I'm not doing the show. I had no intention of ever doing it with this man involved. That's Keemstar's fault for essentially having an idea and not even seeing if it's something that would be possible. He overpromised and he underdelivered. You don't do that, right? I don't like Keemstar. I don't like the content he puts out, nor do I like what he stands for as a person. I think that he's kind of a despicable person. I would never do business with this man. So quite frankly, I have no involvement in this whatsoever. I didn't even know what the offer really was because I never talked to Keem about it, nor did I desire to, period. I guess Boogie had mentioned on this interview that
do you agree, chat? Do you agree with Phil that Keem is despicable and you should never do business with him?
Okay.
One for yes, two for no.
From my perspective, I had been talking to Boogie about this, last year, saying I don't want to do anything with Keem, but if you want to do something with me, just you and me, we could have a conversation. We could do our own show. We could just interview each other just for the benefit of each other's channels, whatever you would want to do. I'll be honest with you guys. I was thinking of maybe interviewing Boogie for my new DSP Reacts channel at some point this year, but that didn't work out. As you know, my interview show is kind of on hiatus for various reasons. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got contacted by a third party basically saying that this person was representing Boogie and Wings and was going to be the third party to put the whole thing together. No, it was not Keemstar. This will have zero Keemstar involvement whatsoever. I'm not arranging for any podcast. Someone reached out to me, okay? We haven't worked anything out. I don't even know how we would make it happen yet. What we need to do is kind of sit down and put our heads together. That could happen and probably will happen after this fight that Wings and Boogie are, I guess, going to have sometime this month. I literally don't even know when it is. I have no clue because it has Keemstar's involvement. I don't care. I want nothing to do with it. So I'm not paying attention to it. But hey, let's make this happen.
Always say no to Keemstar, David, huh?
Okay? One of the things discussed was that they figured I don't want to call it the Lolcow cast. Yeah, I don't want to be involved in anything that makes fun of us, degrades us, or makes us feel like shit, and calling us Lolcows does that. If we're going to start our own show, it should be a fun show. It's different to have a little bit of self-teasing. It's another thing to make an entire show fully degrading and catering to trolls. I don't want to be involved in that. Keemstar absolutely did come up with that name. Hey, I have a problem with that. That was my name and that was my idea. He's right. I actually, from a business perspective, could see having an issue with someone using that name that someone else came up with. And that's that. That's literally it. There's been no major discussion about, money.
Phil didn't want the Lolcow podcast.
Anything really like that. So really, there's been nothing to mention. Why hype up the possibility of a podcast with these guys if we haven't even sat down to see if it's viable yet? We haven't. So why talk about it?
Now we're going to learn a lot of deep lore about the planning of this podcast, and it gets much stranger.
Asking me all about it, so I wanted to tell you my perspective, what's going on. Again, as long as this is a show that's not going to be a fun show, that's maybe about three guys talking about games and pop culture and life in general and news, but instead degrading ourselves, catering to trolls, I'd be down for that, something like that. In fact, I would welcome something like that. Most of my content's just 100% toxic. Just being honest. All of a sudden, someone starts posting up in my chat tonight. Keemstar just tweeted, DSP is off the Lolcow cast because he's not responding to emails. Have I not made it abundantly clear? I want no involvement whatsoever with Keemstar. Zero. I don't want to be told about him. I don't want to be in content with him. I don't want to have any business relationship. I want to be left out of his mouth, period. I have no desire to have any associations with this man or any of his businesses at all. Now, he's tried to come onto my streams and derail the ban. He's tried to tweet me, block. I'm done wasting my time talking about Keemstar. Would I be interested in doing a podcast with Boogie and Wings? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Guys, that's it from my perspective. I hope that clears the air. All right, guys, thank you so very much.
It didn't clear the air. Toxic. Very toxic.
That's normal.
Very toxic. Very toxic. So, okay. So now let's fast forward. We're fast forwarding. This is now we'll do little snippets. I couldn't get anything from Boogie recently, but here's Wings. Just this is about a month ago.
Guys recorded episode of Lolcow. Any insight on when it's going to come out? There's stuff happening with the Lolcow podcast that isn't good, and I don't know. I don't want to overspeak.
Not good when you can't even say the name of your podcast.
But like, it looks like it's falling apart right now. But we have done 2 episodes, and if nothing else, we'll release those 2 episodes. Dixie, $50 for a mass unban right now. I'm ready. No, I'm not. I'm not doing any mass unbans, dude.
Okay, so that was Wings. That was all we got out of Wings. This is
What he's speaking of. I have not spoken with Keem about being on any podcast ever, nor will I. There is no Lolcow cast. Period.
okay. Go into this. Now, Phil was replaced with a very controversial pick. He was replaced with Tommy C of all people. I guess for his connection to Keemstar. Now, the podcast. Here, I'll give a little preamble here. The podcast was recorded. The podcast was done. And there was a lot of weird things going on. We kept hearing about this, but nobody ever saw an episode. Months and months and months had passed. Tommy C had replaced Phil. Nobody had seen hide nor hair of this podcast. No one had heard about it. It was supposedly coming any day, but it just never materialized, ever. It just went into the ether after Tommy C was announced as the replacement for Phil. Now we're going to find out why. And you're going to hear probably one of the most bizarre fucking stories I've ever heard in my life about how they completely fucked this whole thing. It's just a story of complete incompetence and laziness.
The metronome in my thought. This podcast.
Keep it quilted means you keep it the best. Keep it quilted means
oh my god,
feels good and does.
Let me see.
So by not after what he has prepared.
And anybody who has questions about this podcast, I put up a tweet. It's on my Twitter right now.
Somehow Nick DiOrio got in on this immediately.
Ask him after we go through the story. Mm-hmm. But if you have any like specific things I wouldn't think of about like
Sure.
the relationship between Wings and Boogie and their chemistry, or I don't know, you have like a quirky Lolcow type question or something like that, just shoot it to me there.
To change gears and not be abrasive and not be confrontational is actually also responsible, but it's no fault of my own. The fact that you know me, I'm
Well, I have it configured, but I don't have it configured on this browser.
Because I didn't want to rub Keem the wrong way to make it look like I was making a move on his podcast. So by not doing that, somebody made a move on his podcast, and I'm gonna let you. So I'm gonna let you take it. You know.
Actually, while I explain a little, I want to kind of expand on what you just said, but while I'm doing,
I don't care about you, Nick Diorio.
Break up to get rid of him. So what happens is,
okay.
Clown says, I show him that's not him. This is him. And he showed me, I was like, oh, wow.
Spoke about how they recorded it, and the audience is looking around. Nothing. I don't really know what's going on.
So here we go. We're going to get into what happened to this podcast.
Nothing going on. They film another episode. Prior to this, they're talking about booking guests. If you want to know something else that's going to rip your fucking heart out, the first guest for this podcast was going to be
I don't know why Nick Diorio is narrating this.
Tom Dark jumps on and talks to him.
I apologize. I did. I clicked show, but it didn't show.
Wings, Boogie, and Tommy, and gets a front row seat with the Lolcow podcast. Imagine how much content would have come from there. And now that opens the door for a ton of other people. You could have got June the King on there to confront Wings, right? Maybe the eventual DSP collab. Could you imagine if that happened?
Sure.
All right.
That was never going to happen.
Low tier God calls in. Could you imagine like how many
maybe
guests
LTG
could have shown up on the
might have
Lolcow
appeared if you had enough clout.
Oh,
so they finally
Muda,
film. Yeah.
Muda
So they
is
finally
limitless.
film the podcast. This one was it. Okay. You know that champagne popping moment when you know you've created fucking content? Tommy was telling me about it. Apparently, what was it? Boogie just started screaming about his divorce.
That Nick Diorio is narrating this makes me believe
his mom.
that a lot of this is bullshit.
It's even better. It's like we're making fun of Boogie. We made like Wings made a lot of great jokes. Wings is really good when recording, and he made a lot of cracks about his new girlfriend. And right in the middle of and Boogie took it well, but right in the middle of it, he starts talking about being molested as a child. I mean, just right out of nowhere. Like, oh, okay.
Guys, this podcast is recorded, edited. It's done. It can come out. Okay? It exists.
Yes.
All right? You want to hear Wings, Boogie, and Tommy talk about Boogie getting fucking molested as a child.
That sounds awful.
That shit is ready to come out.
That sounds
and
awful.
they're sitting there. They're like, holy fuck, we've just made cinema. Who's the guy who hates the Marvel movie? Martin Scorsese would have looked at this podcast and went, wow, it's fucking cinema. Everybody's got the virtual high fives like the arcade one-up people are asking for. Tommy's like, yes, Wings, yes. Dude, there was one point where Tommy told me, he goes, listen, man, I like you, Wings. And if you want to play video games, even offline, I'd be down to play with you, man. And apparently Wings looked at him and was like, hey, man, that's awesome. And like nobody's ever said that to him before.
Dude, that's what it looked like.
They gelled. It was perfect. It was perfect. Down to every minute detail. And they leave the call thinking this was it. The champagne popping moment. We're ready. This podcast is coming out. Ring, 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 ring. Tommy gets a phone call. Now, the producer loved it. Wings loved it. Boogie loved it. He doesn't know what Keem thinks. Keem hasn't said anything, but Keem calls in and he goes, Tommy, who the fuck was that guy?
What guy?
Now, have you guys ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2? When the ego guy
get to the point.
What's his name? That he killed his mother.
I fucking hate these guys so much.
Star-Lord,
it gets
like
interesting later, but I have to play
background.
I got to play for you some of the explanations here.
It zooms out or whatever, and you hear the guy go, "What?" That's what I'm imagining happened here. Okay, so little bit of backstory. This producer I keep mentioning is the video game attorney, and to my knowledge,
no. I gotta correct you there. Games attorney, the video games attorney.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Actually, it's the perfect fucking one. His name is Games Attorney. So Keemstar, to this point, I guess,
a mysterious games attorney appears.
Created the FUPA fund for H3H3. All right, he thinks he's the games attorney. Okay, the games attorney. So he's in the thing and he's like, Keem, are you sending me the money for these fucking
Does
cameras?
anyone know who
Keem's
games
like,
attorney is?
who the fuck was that guy? I didn't hire that guy. And all of a sudden, Tommy's life fucking crashed and burned in front of him. This guy is not the game's attorney.
Okay, so to give a little context here. A guy, so this is all the negotiations and communications are being done in a Twitter group chat that DSP originally created. And there was a mysterious account in there called Games Attorney. And for some reason, this person was just decided on with no real input or seemingly thought that he'd just be the producer of the show. And everybody just thought, well, this guy is in here and he says he wants to be the producer, so we're going to make him the producer. It's just some account that's in this Twitter group chat. And you're going to hear a lot of different stories about how this person got added to the group chat and who this person is, but this person is mysteriously in the group chat and his name is Games Attorney.
It is just some guy named Games Attorney.
Here's to the
my
moments
God.
between where you are and where you're going, to setting off in.
This is insane. I'm just not going to
He
use it.
owns.
I think
the
YouTube is just going to go the way of the dodo
He
at this point.
owns the fucking website URL. He owns the trademark. He owns everything. And it's just some guy.
So this guy has trademarked the name Lolcow Podcast. He's taken the URL Lolcow Podcast, and now he owns the rights to the entire show. And it's just some guy who's in a Twitter group chat, and nobody knows who he is. Keem doesn't know who this guy is from Adam. Nobody knows who this guy is. But somehow he's in full control of what's going on.
And Keem has no idea who the fuck this guy is. And he's been producing the show for 3 months.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Now, how retarded is Tommy C, Boogie, and fucking Wings that they, and Keem, I mean, they're all so retarded. I mean, Keem, at least I could sort of understand that he thinks that they've appointed this guy because this guy was added by one of them into this group chat. So Keem thinks this guy is an agent of one of them. Okay. But now what you're going to hear is that nobody knows who this guy is. Tommy has no idea who this guy is. They all just assume that the guy is in there because Keem put him there. It just doesn't make any sense. Nobody has, in 3 months, nobody has even asked the most basic of questions. Nobody knows what's going on.
Now you're probably asking yourself, Tommy, how did you let this happen? And here's the thing, and this is where
What do you know about him, Tommy? What do you
Because
know about
Tommy
this
is
guy?
just,
Tell
like,
me any knowledge you might
completely
know about
brain dead.
Games Attorney.
Here's the thing. Look, I was very careful. I didn't want to, like...
He was
At
careful.
first, I told you, I was like, I don't know why this guy's here. I know who he is, but...
It's
and
great to
I
everybody.
was
It'll be
probably the
explained
only person
periodically
that
throughout,
didn't-
'cause
this
this
is- I think the
story
guy's
doesn't
name
make any
was Ryan
sense.
Morrison. I was probably the only person in the group that knew this wasn't Ryan Morrison, and there's a distinct reason for that. That this wasn't that because when I was in Baited, I was contacted by the same guy, the games attorney, right? And I've followed him ever since. And I remember telling Clown and Keem, and I told Keem this in the call. And I said, well, yeah, games attorney called me the games attorney. He's like, who? They were like, who are you talking about? Games attorney, the guy that's helping. This is back in 2016. The guy that's helping.
Gamergate. It all goes back to Gamergate.
The guy that's helping Atri with the FUPA thing, right? Show me, Clown says. I show him. That's not him. This
Okay. So Tommy admits that he knows this is a fake account. Right off the bat, immediately he knows the account is fake. It is not the real games attorney, who was a guy that nobody remembers, all the way back from Gamergate, who was like a lawyer in quotation marks, that was helping people with lawsuits during Gamergate. Okay, the whole Gamergate era. I can't remember. He's bringing up H3H3. I'm remembering something a little different. It was something with like Kotaku or something, but Tommy knows this is a fake account like immediately. Says nothing for 3 months.
This is him. And he showed me, I was like, oh, wow. So he's another, and this is not the first time, because I was green back then, that somebody tried to like get close to me via the beta podcast. And he said, they both said, and this is 2016, keep that in mind, stay away from that guy. Now, I'm glad I didn't, because here's what I did after that.
He was told
friendly.
He's told in 2016, stay away from this guy. Stay away from this guy. 2016. It's now 2023. You're trying. Now this guy has somehow wrangled his way into being a producer of your show that is like a big opportunity for you to make money, and no wheels are turning. There's nothing. It's blank. There's nothing going on in his head.
I think he's a Detroit Red Wings fan, so he talked about that. And then usually around Christmas, I stopped doing it the last 2 or 3 years, but I used to write everybody that was on my list, Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. He was one of those guys. If he said hello in my DMs, I said hello back, right? But I knew he wasn't, I think the guy's name was the attorney Ryan Morrison, right? Now, in fairness to him, he never told me he was Ryan Morrison. But
Twitter
I think he was okay with me believing that back in 2016. And I just didn't see much of a reason after the podcast breakup to get rid of him. So what happens is Keem, the games attorney, Boogie and Wings put a DM group. I'm the last one in the group.
Everything, yes. So everything goes back to Gamergate.
And from what I understand, games attorney is sending out all the cameras to everybody. So I immediately assume that this is the guy that Keem is put in charge to manage it, because look, it makes perfect sense, because he's got all that stuff going on. I mean, he's got serious stuff going on. He probably has a manager. And then like right off the bat,
he's got a manager. So Tommy is so retarded. Okay. He thinks a fake games attorney account from 2016, that's probably like Gator, because who creates esoteric Gamergate accounts on Twitter? Gator. That's why Gator is like Moltar. He's got all of those random names that are all his socks, because Gator is like one of the only people who even knows who these people are. So they've got like literally Gator now producing the show under a fake Gamergate account, and he thinks that it makes perfect sense to Tommy. Tommy's so retarded, it makes perfect sense in his mind. This guy must be the manager, because Keem didn't say anything. So I even know this is a fake account. I've been told to stay away from this person, but you know what? They're in here, so they're the producer, I guess. And just everybody went along with this.
Like they started sort of clashing in there, and I'm like, oh, good. I don't get to be the punching bag.
Yes, Gator did that.
But at the same time, I bitched you guys. I was like, I don't know why we need this guy, because it became abundantly clear right away that he wasn't really internet people like we are. He seemed to be.
He wasn't internet people like Donga.
Yes, I want to.
Oh,
show
you got.
He was into the real world.
This guy's a total fucking normie.
So,
and it's amazing.
There was a lot more. This is something I just learned yesterday. Okay.
And for context, at this point, Tommy's pulled out of the project, I guess, and so has Keem.
How many fucking ads are there? Is there an ad every 5 fucking minutes? Jesus Christ, you two.
Keem pulled out first, but when I was on vacation, somebody asked a fake Papa Gut account, this guy, if he wanted to be on the Lolcow podcast in the future. I don't know why Papa Gut's off the air.
So they're even contacting fake Twitter accounts to be guests on the podcast. This is the level. This is the level up incompetence.
But he asked the fake Papa Gut, and I could tell that he wasn't an internet guy.
These are people who have been, these are legacy YouTubers who have been around for over a decade.
I remember I bitched to you. I was like, I really
Each one of these people.
This guy's been put in charge of anything. Because
besides Tommy, who has been around for like almost a decade.
Of doing this. But I'm going back to my beta days, and I always was angry that Keem insisted that Clown edit the podcast, which is why they never came out. And I thought I should have
the screenshot if you're wondering.
Oh, I did before. I just showed it real quick.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything more necessary than that.
Showed it real quick, so none of us could actually read what it said.
So I basically, I got sidetracked a bit. Sorry. I thought that if I bitched, all the old memories would come back for Keem, and I was trying to undo his manager, and it looks like I was making trouble. You know, because that was his theory.
Yeah.
That was his narrative, that I was making trouble and I was being.
He didn't want to make trouble by asking basic questions like, "Who is this person?"
And then cry poor mouth and get it. I didn't want that for the second time. I thought after 2019, when he put that, like, I could work with this guy again, so I kept my mouth shut. But I did privately, and after the second podcast, and then all he did was
no timestamps, just endless shelling.
Comfortable with it because he knew
Tommy has a TikTok.
But what I didn't know was like how he got there. Now I'm not sure. Wings brought him in. I have been told that this is the guy that initially talked to DSP. So he had DSP, Wings, and Boogie in a chat at one time. I'm not 100% sure of that.
So now the allegation is that the troll account is the one that actually came up with the idea for the podcast and invited DSP, Wings, and Boogie in to negotiate. His troll account invited these three people in. So he's really the originator.
And then when Boogie, when DSP dipped out, it became all three of us. But I think the mistake that Keem made is asking this guy to get us the cameras. Because here's another thing. He claims he's an attorney, but he was awful nervous about Keem not paying him back. And this is really funny. Like, he basically said to all three of us, what should he do? Because he keeps DMing Keem, and I don't know why now he didn't answer him. He didn't know who the hell he was. Would he get the money back? Well,
so now Tommy admits another level of retardation. The guy is telling them, I'm contacting Keem, and he's not. I don't know how you could think this guy's a manager, and he's contacting Keem, and Keem isn't even contacting him back. And they're still convinced this guy is the manager.
He got a negative response from somebody, he got a positive response from somebody, and he got a neutral response from somebody. Guess what 3 members? Put it in order. Good luck. Have fun with that one. Guess who? Figure out how that happened.
Really? Because I guessed it right immediately.
Yeah, you know what? Let it be a mystery forever.
Right.
How about that?
So let's just clarify some talking points right now. So this game's attorney guy, we find out who he is, and the only thing you knew about him prior to this interaction is that Keem told you to stay the fuck away from that guy 4 years ago.
Told me to stay away from him.
Okay.
Yes.
And now also, as of this week, the game's attorney guy is trying to book Spondyle on the podcast as a fake Papa Gut account.
Yes. Oh, no, that was back in August. Sorry. In fairness to him, that was back in August. Okay.
Which is significant, by the way, because Boogie is the guy who DM'd the fake iDubbbz. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, he DM'd the fake iDubbbz talking about, like, I heard you're going to make a content cop on me. Now, like, his podcast DM'd the fake Papa Gut,
that's
which is
so
even
funny.
funnier. Yeah, there's a bit of a lore dump right there. But,
that's funny. But that's the thing. Colossus didn't think, he probably doesn't remember this. This is something that they wouldn't remember, in fairness to both of them, right? This is a side conversation that lasted approximately 2 minutes that I remembered because I continued to follow the guy. And he didn't. So another thing that happened is Keem basically was upset. He says, I don't know who you are. You're a lawyer. You registered all this stuff. I didn't tell you to register anything. And I want the first episode. Well, this guy to this day hasn't uploaded sent the episode to anybody. So it's become pretty clear to me that he was trying to get a check out of Keem. And that's kind of what
lost media. Isn't that crazy?
So not only does this guy have full rights to the podcast. He has the only recordings. These retards, complete retards, didn't even record their own podcast. They left it to this random account to record the podcast, too. So nobody even has the podcast. Now, we're going to skip ahead a little bit until when Keem joins. Now, of course, Tommy like nothing on the screen to tell me when Keem joins.
Right, but I think interesting.
Bro, I was gonna put money up.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
This is the funniest shit that's ever happened.
So I don't know if it's funny. And the other thing is, I think I made a separate chat.
It's
I
ridiculous.
Called it the talent. I got all three. Wiggs has been impossible to get a hold of since. And I got to be honest, he seemed the most kind of sympathetic to this guy. Now, I was told this guy did something to him before.
That's right. Brian is telling the aliens about game again.
Now
he's on the mothership.
They don't have interest in doing it. And I just said, look, if we get rid of fucking this guy, start over, give them a product, we'll call it something else. We'll move on
after 3 months
and go our own way. And nobody seems to be interested.
Shocker. Nobody's interested.
And I think I could have talked to Keem and said, look, you want to come back in? You want to at least give us your blessing?
Keem is going to join momentarily.
But nobody would do it. Nobody would put the work in. And that's so weird about Wiggs because he was totally ready to do it when, he was totally ready to do it when it was time to go. Boogie was too. Boogie was like, well, fuck that guy. I don't know who he is. Everybody thought somebody else knew who he was. The only person I think knew he was, and I heard DSP, Wiggs is the one that's going to have to explain his end. Because I don't know what
Wiggs ain't going to explain
it. Calling into Zerka's show, but like on a fucking pandemic level. Like this is so funny. There's an imposter among us. Like, I feel like I'm just...
Yeah, we were playing Among Us, but nobody knew there was a guy fucking killing everybody.
That is Among Us, Tommy. That's the game.
That's just so crazy that it took 3 months of everybody looking at each other going, who added this guy? Was it you? No. Was it you? No. Was it you? No. And then it all clicked all together in one shit, just like...
Yeah, look, that's another thing.
Right after they thought they just recorded like the fucking best piece of content.
Hey, he just recorded the second episode. The pilot was a little shaky.
Okay. So you have Wings, Boogie, and Tommy. Okay. 3 people who have like immense experience. They've been around forever. Okay. They're so fucking fat and lazy and retarded that they think they need a producer for this show, which I don't even understand because it's literally a show about nothing. It's literally them just sitting together and just talking about random stuff. They don't need anything. All they have to do is one of them has to record it and release it and maybe edit it if there's major flubs for monetization or whatever the fuck, okay? To clean it up. That's all you need to do. I don't even understand why they needed a random person to do this for them, but apparently they did. And this random person is inviting like just stock accounts to be guests and all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is insane. It's insane, and it's just going to get more insane because Keem is going to join in a minute.
Chemistry. Now this is a really awesome episode. We sent it to Keem. He loves it. Everybody's down for it. This is amazing. We're ready to hit the ground running. Let's fucking do it. Who the fuck is Games Attorney?
Yeah,
what's up, buddy?
Okay, now Keem has joined.
So I listened to bits and pieces. I wanted to add a little bit.
The aliens
more,
did take Mama J.
Maybe my version of the story
Sure.
and my perspective, but as you guys made reference to, like, I'm busy. I'm doing a lot of different stuff right now. And I did have the dream of this Lolcow podcast. And at the time when I first presented it, it was like, bro, I was going to put money up front. I was really into this, right?
Thanks to camera.
Pick Tommy C decided, wow.
How long did
I'm not putting money up front now
thing go on where he might be on and he's not going to be on and
it'd be a disaster.
Back and forth and
sure.
that was a whole year, right?
Pretty much.
So by the time we get to like Wings and Boogie and their fight's done and we're going to actually do the Lolcow podcast with Tommy C, so much like interest from me personally was just like gone on the project, but I still wanted it to be a reality. And the
basically
reason why we
Keem
got to
saying
the whole Tommy C thing.
Basically, Keem already admitting right off the bat, once DSP wasn't involved, Keem had zero interest in this project, which is why this probably happened. Because without handlers, these guys are completely incompetent.
Is because I found out that DSP was trying to do the Lolcow podcast without me.
Yeah. And this guy decided to do it instead. And I'm wondering what his connection is to DSP. I'm really wondering what his connection to because I think he has a connection to DSP.
There's no connection to DSP. I would guarantee it.
I don't know. I don't think that DSP had anything to do with this, but I think he's got a connection.
Yeah, so this guy was able to get a hold of DSP. He was able to get a hold of Wings.
I would be surprised.
And try to do the podcast without me. So once I found out about that, I'm like, oh, hell no. We're going to put Tommy C in there.
If DSP destroyed this, that would be amazing.
When I get added to the group, the Twitter group, and they kick DSP out and they add me, this games attorney guy's in there. And I'm like, what is his role right off the bat? Oh, he's a helper. Okay. Well, we're going to need good cameras for this.
Who told you that?
And he goes, oh, I'll buy them. I'll buy them.
Who told
he goes,
you
I'll
that?
buy them. You can just reimburse me.
Yeah. Who told you that, though? Who told you he was a helper? Because it wasn't me.
Like Wings.
Wings told you. Okay.
This might be before you actually joined.
Yeah, I was the last one to go in the group chat.
So Wings, it comes out now. Wings added this random.
I might have been in there for a
full account.
Tommy's mic is so low for me. It's like
is it? All right, I'm sorry. I'll boost it. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't realize it was normal until Nick spoke. But so long story short, I'm like, dude, we're gonna have to dump some money into equipment. I got it. Let's get these new cameras, because they're supposed to be amazing.
They're amazing.
What do they need cameras for?
I'm looking for the cameras.
They all stream them, already.
Right? And before I have a chance to buy them, he goes, oh, I'll buy them. You can just reimburse me. I'm like, okay, fine, buy them. And then I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting.
What do they need cameras for?
You're going to pay me for these cameras, right? I go, yeah. Mail out the cameras. Dude, I swear to God, from the time he ordered the cameras, a month went by before they received the cameras. It made no sense.
Yeah. And
what do they need new cameras for?
Wait, so he was playing
to record a show.
For you to give money for cameras he hasn't even sent yet?
What he offered to buy without the other guy even getting involved.
What he told me was
So this guy, Keem, says they need new camera. You guys need better cameras. Okay. And the guy says, well, I'll pay for the cameras. What do they even need the new cameras for? You guys already live stream as a living. What the fuck do you need a new camera for? Just do the show, and when you get the new cameras, just keep doing the show and upgrade the cameras. I don't even understand what they're even talking about. This sounds like just a complete scam. Everything about this sounds like a scam. Like this is just made up.
Told me was, and I don't know, is that he had the cameras and then Keem wouldn't respond to the DM saying, he wanted the reimbursement before he sent them out. But
why would Keem send them before anybody got their camera delivered? That doesn't make any sense.
Why would he buy the cameras when Keem offered to do all of this himself?
Why wouldn't you just let Keem buy the cameras?
Exactly. None of it makes sense, right?
It doesn't make any sense.
And there was no
$1 million businessman, Keemstar.
If I would pay for the cameras, when that's why he bought the cameras in the first place, is because I said, yeah, I'll pay the money for them. Buy the cameras. So I'm thinking this guy's just a helper.
Keem thinking he could save a nickel.
This guy isn't doing anything other than just helping, assisting. And he's going out of his way to be like,
why would you even allow him to buy the cameras?
I'm going to set up the StreamYard, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, right? All stuff that I was fine with. What he wasn't telling us was that he created the Twitter in his name. He created the Instagram in his name. He bought the fucking domain. He trademarked the goddamn thing. He wasn't saying any of this. And of course, I'm distracted by a million other things. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got to get the group together. Once we have a pilot episode, right? I'm waiting for a good pilot episode. And then
nobody notices that there's a Twitter account with the Lolcow podcast that nobody owns either. Nobody realizes that immediately. They're waiting for this guy a month to ship out web cameras that they already have. They all already have cameras. They're all live streamers for over a decade. They don't even need the cameras, but now they're waiting. And nobody knows anything.
We'll take care of everything else. We'll make the websites. We'll make all the social medias. We'll form a company, because to do this the right way, there needs to be a company that I own, that Tommy owns, that Wing owns, that Boogie owns. You know, if you set up a company, then it's like we own all this property.
Well, you should do that before you even start the podcast, Keem. You should have done that in March.
Shady internet shit.
Hey, Josh Piscator can't run off
He
with your
probably
YouTube
didn't want to
channel.
do it until he could see that an episode would come out or it'd be a waste of money.
Get
But
to that because this weird fucking nobody that has no attachment to fucking anything went and fucking, you know, landed on Boardwalk and built fucking hotels everywhere.
Did it ever occur to you with this helper helping an awful lot that he might be helping almost a little too much? Almost
Maybe
as if he
he's
has a lot
helping
to
his
give.
Well, I
own
don't think anybody
self-interest.
knew.
Yeah.
Nobody
Dude,
knew about
okay,
the other part.
I thought I assumed that this guy was the Fupa guy, and that the Fupa guy, right?
I understand his name is
Keemstar
attorney
assumed
and
that this guy was real. What would this guy have anything to do with producing a podcast?
By the way,
Yeah,
this Fupa guy totally fucked Ethan, right? Like, even if it was that guy sucks.
Of course, that lawsuit went down in flames.
The only red flag I had is when I was like, 2 weeks went by, and I hit the group chat. I'm like, did you guys get your camera so we could do this pilot episode? And they're like, no. And I'm like,
What do they need cameras? What do they need new cameras to do a pilot episode?
Confirm that you're going to pay me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pay you. And then it was like a whole nother 2 weeks.
Does this all sound like a giant lie? Or
Yeah,
what?
well, in fairness, they got it right away. It took probably 2 weeks to get to me because I'm overseas.
Dude, this is like going into business with a fake tipster account. Like that. This is so beyond levels of parody. Oh,
bro,
God.
and it's like, I don't know. I really don't understand how this guy was there.
I don't know.
First place. Okay,
I don't know that either. I have no idea. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I have no idea. I thought that he was your manager, and I didn't want to fuck with him.
You thought he
because
was
fucking with
his
him was
manager?
fucking with you.
No, I thought he was Wings' buddy.
Oh, now that we got Keem here, Tommy, you want me to tell him what everybody said about the money?
Oh, I don't. Go ahead, but
Because you said guess, but we gave him some time to guess. So the guy's like, I don't know if that Keemstar guy is gonna fucking pay me. I don't know if I trust that guy. So Boogie,
Of course he's
as
not
you could
gonna
probably
pay you.
expect, goes, no man, Keem's good for it. He'll give you the money. Tommy's like, I don't know, heads or tails. He might not. Who
You're
knows?
not getting a
No, that's not what I
dime,
said.
bro.
No,
You got scammed.
I
think
said
he's
it's
gonna take your money.
You're not going to
100%.
scam Keemstar.
He's gonna-
Keem is going to
he's
scam
gonna
you.
Keep your money. You're never gonna see that money again.
No, what I said was
The minute-
this. I
I'm
said it'd
not
be.
even joking. Okay, go ahead.
I want to make no. What I said was this. Look, because I don't know what kind of money this guy makes. I can understand you being concerned, but I go. I don't think he's. Look, I've had problems with Keem, and he's never chins down on something like that. So I really don't buy it. But at the same time, you have to get in contact with him and discuss that with him. And the other two were like, I think.
Who
I don't
is
know
this
exactly
guy to
what
get in
Wing said,
contact with
Nick,
Keemstar?
But I think he was a little more negative, and Boogie was like, "Hey, don't sweat it. Fucking, he's gonna pay you." Like,
You might as well put that into Dink Donk coin because you're never gonna see that money again.
I do a ton of business.
Yeah.
And I never fuck over anybody on money.
Ah.
Right?
This guy doesn't even leak DMs.
Salvo
This is
would
the golden
disagree.
rule. He's not gonna fucking scam you.
Yeah.
As soon as these guys confirmed that they had their cameras, which
Yeah.
was like a month later.
What do they
right?
need the
Every
cameras
Maybe
for?
longer.
I don't
Yeah.
understand this
As
cope
soon
with the
as they confirmed
cameras.
They had their cameras. He got paid that day. Literally that day.
That's
As soon
it.
as I seen the DM, I was like, "Oh, okay." I sent over $1,100 to this guy.
Oh, so Keem claims he actually paid this guy. Okay.
And then I went on vacation, so that's what pushed it to the month. It took
I
2
expect
weeks,
that.
and then I went on vacation.
Hey,
know,
Keem,
because it
Tommy
was-
decides to go on vacation
Tommy's trying to get you to buy him
for 2 weeks.
He doesn't want to.
They're supposed
he
to
doesn't
do a
want
pilot
outright,
episode.
So if you got I don't know who's going to be on it. Maybe this time we can get Markiplier. All right, so we get a little bigger budget and get a computer.
So the game's attorney did DM me right
Yeah.
after all the shit hit the fan, right? And he was like, I'll give you all the stuff. I just want to see the podcast happen. But at that point, I'm just like, why did you make this stuff? Like, I don't even want it because, like, there's a thing where, yes, he could give me the password.
He doesn't want it.
And then, like,
just admit that you lost interest after the DSP stuff fell through.
He has, like, a
and you
backup
could give a fuck
email. He
less.
just takes it back in the future. Like, it's already tainted. You know what I mean? Like,
as soon as you put Tommy C in,
the foundation of the count. Just because you have
as soon as Keem put Tommy C instead of DSP, it crashed and burned. It was over. This was like complete sabotage. Nobody wanted to even. Nobody was interested anymore. They just let it crash and burn. That's what I get out of this. Okay, especially when the person who's supposed to do a pilot episode says, everybody refuses to do it because they don't have new cameras. And then when you finally get your camera, you say, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. It's insane.
You have the password doesn't do you any good. If this thing were to actually take off, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Matter.
And it's not like he's made any effort to get it to me.
I called Tommy and I called. Yeah,
he hasn't made any effort.
I called Tommy and I was like, I'm so sorry, Tommy, but I don't have fucking time to deal with this dumb shit.
Keem is like, I'm not making any money off of this.
The biggest fucking hassle.
I don't blame you. Name one time account sharing a business like you would in RuneScape would go well.
Oh,
when has
dude,
this ever been?
Wait, you just said the fucking. We could have had Frank Hassel come in as a guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
To argue with Boogie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
that was on the docket.
That would have been great.
That was on the docket. That was on the docket. That was 100% going to happen. The only person that would have made that not happen is Frank Hassel himself, and I'm sure I could have got a hold of him. I'm pretty sure I could have found them.
The only thing that needs to happen now, in my opinion,
scam Twitter account.
Boogie, Wings, and Tommy C to go form a company. All right, invest a little bit of money.
Yeah.
They're never going to spend any of their own money.
Brand new accounts on everything. Forget a fucking website. Who cares about a website? Just make all the social medias, right?
Yeah.
Get a graphics guy and just fucking do the podcast. That episode that I saw, it was gold.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's sad that it's not going to see the light of day. Oh, here's a story that you might not know, Nick.
If you saw it, how is it not going to see the light of day?
No, Tommy does know this. I see the episode that was eventually good, like the second attempt, and I was like, yes, that is the first episode. I go, and they sent me the link to view it, but he didn't send me the download.
Yeah.
So I hit him up in the chat, and I'm like, yo, bro, I need the download link. I'm going to start editing this.
Just rip it.
He doesn't message me for an entire day. This is a guy who's active every single day in this fucking chat, right?
Yes, the most active.
He goes an entire day. It's my only day off. It was a day where I had a good stretch of like 4 hours with nothing to do. I was going to edit the whole fucking thing myself, all right? He wouldn't send me the fucking download link, and I'm spamming it. Dude, Boogie even at one point is like tagging the dude, be like, yo, respond to Keem. He comes back the next day, and he goes, oh, here's the download link. By the way, I've already edited it myself.
Oh, so he's a little Lord Vega. So he's a handyman. This guy's fucking Mike Ehrmantraut for the podcast. He does everything.
As soon as he found out that I wanted the download to edit it, he went and rushed and did it himself or hired someone else to do it for him. Because this guy wanted to own the Lolcow podcast.
Basically.
I was going to say, it sounds like this
Keemstar's
guy's
not doing any work. That's why they thought,
Now, that was the second red flag. Yeah. When that happened is when I called Tommy C and I said, who the fuck is this motherfucker?
And you asked after that, and by the way, he's basically said, okay, sorry guys, I just want this podcast to work out, I'm out. And he didn't send us shit
either. Who cares who edited it?
He didn't like offer.
Why not just release it?
But I just want him gone. I was hoping I could get a copy of the fucking podcast myself, but he hasn't offered it because I think he's, I think your instincts were correct.
I think your instincts were correct.
But Wings and Boogie were in the group chat with this guy before you and me, Tommy, right? Like they were in the group chat with this guy.
Yeah, I don't know
who
brought
this
him in.
guy.
You weren't in charge of the group chat. You couldn't have booted him. I'm sure you would have. I'm absolutely sure. You
No,
would.
DSP
the
probably
group-
with his nasally ass voice was probably like, "Don't let Keemstar own this shit. You put Games Attorney in this fucking chat, he'll do everything he can.
Trojan
okay?
horse.
And then when Keem tries to fuck you, guess what? He doesn't own shit. He can't do anything. All right, I'll let you guys go.
Well, that was
Add
a
Keem
good
to the chat
plan,
and make
but
some
I
money.
don't think
Whatever. Bye.
DSP did that.
Yeah, well, to DSP and to Games Attorney,
giving him way too
none
much
of you
credit.
have ever fucking sold a podcast to Spotify for millions. I have. Suck a dick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, that was the
look,
first thing that I said. We chased the guy with the most money out of the podcast. What the fuck are you thinking? I mean, like...
We fired our investors.
We fired our investors. That's exactly it! We had fired our investors!
So how I see it happening is Games Attorney goes and hits up Wings and Boogie and says, hey, look, I can get DSP on. And then they're talking to DSP.
Probably getting rid of me. That's
all
what I
four
thought.
of them, I assume, are in a Twitter group chat. Then I find out about it. They kick out DSP. They add me. Now it's me, Wings, Boogie, and Games Attorney. And I'm like, look, we're going to add Tommy C. to
So
the
what
show.
kind of Machiavellian backroom dealing was going on here? It's very interesting. So DSP has there's a mysterious group chat with DSP, Wings of Redemption, Boogie, and there's a random Games Attorney account on Twitter. They're planning the show. They've got it all put together. They clearly don't want anything to do with Tommy, and who could blame them, really? Because Tommy's retarded. And they're Machiavelli, doing all this shit, and they're getting it all together, and they've got it's been promoted to death. They could have launched this at any time. All they have to do is clear like an hour or two, do a Discord call, all three of them on camera, one of them record it, and you just release it. That's all. That's all you have to do. There's no real major planning. They all know how to use OBS. They're all legacy YouTubers. I mean, any one of them is capable of doing this. But they see that Keem wants to desperately be involved in this. Keem is offering the money. He wants to get in. Keem gets in. DSP is thrown out because Keem is now waving around money. So they go, okay, let's just we'll throw DSP to the wolves. Who gives a fuck about DSP? He's fucking difficult anyway, and we're never going to get him to do anything anyway. So we're going to do this. We're going to get Keem and his money involved. And then they add Keem in. Keem doesn't know what's going on. Keem does no research. He has no idea what's going on. He just thinks, well, this is money-making opportunity if I can get DSP, Wings, and Boogie on a podcast. This could blow up and be, I guess, viral or whatever. Viral, I guess, is the word. Because you have three people that are have universal, huge hate bases that would just love to watch a show shitting on these guys. Of course, once DSP is gone, all the interest goes out the window because nobody wants to hear Boogie talk about getting molested. Nobody wants to hear Wings talk about, whatever, crying about the haters and people blocking him in Call of Duty. So, but it all falls apart. It all just immediately falls apart. And then Keem has lost interest. They've lost interest. And now this guy, for whatever reason, this mysterious troll Games Attorney account, we don't really know the motivation. The motivation might have been good. He might have seen that Keem is, worthless, and that unless Keem sees immediate profit margins, he's not going to do anything. So maybe this guy was just trying to push this along as fast as he could, which still took 3 months to make 2 episodes, and they were only going to use 1, so he didn't do a very good job. But, of course, as soon as Keem feels threatened in any way, that there's a possibility that he's not going to be able to make a boatload of free cash off of this, he pulls out. And now everybody is left with their hands up in the air, and nobody knows what's happening.
Tommy C comes in, and Games Attorney, who should no longer be involved at all, is just there.
Yeah.
Running around doing everything in secret.
I don't know what to say.
You can tell me
There's a lot of
nobody knew
risk
that
when you
he
put
did.
three
Nobody knew
morons
he
in a
did any of this
podcast
stuff.
Together doesn't really not a lot
All
of
right.
responsibility
I'm
going
gonna
on
ask
there.
a big question, chat. Big question. Is this guy just is he an attorney or is his name Attorney?
I don't know.
It's some
That's
troll.
the
I started going after him. I go, who the fuck are you in the chat? And he goes, my name is Ryan Morrison. I'm an attorney here. And I'm like, how come you don't have a picture?
It's not
on any of your
Ryan
social
Moore.
medias
It's
of me?
not actually the real game's attorney.
Wait, he
anyway.
said his name was Ryan Morrison?
No. No, he
Yes.
didn't.
Wait,
no, he didn't.
what?
No,
No,
he
he
didn't.
did.
No, he
Go to the Twitter
No
group
Let me
chat.
go back.
way.
No, I'll go check.
No fucking
No, he
way.
didn't. I didn't notice that. No, he didn't do that. He said
So
something
Keem's
else.
just
He said
lying
his name
now.
was Ryan.
Or
That's
he
your
sent it
direct
to me in the
DM.
DMs.
His name is Ryan.
Or
okay,
unless he
one
told
minute.
you something different. Yeah, hold on a
Go.
second.
No bullshit. He did not.
There's another
September
mysterious
24th,
Ryan.
Wait, he did say it in the group chat?
I'm checking.
He's looking
They're
right now.
looking. They're looking.
Okay, it's hardly yesterday. Blah blah blah. No, he did say Ryan. I'm not going to say his last name. I'm not doxing him.
Oh yeah, okay. It's not the same last name.
I'm not going to dox him,
You
even though
saw
he
Ryan in
completely
the
destroyed my
dyslexic
I
business.
do find it. I do find it. I do find it
He said,
bizarre.
Keem, it's Ryan, games
Is
attorney.
Tommy not involved with this or what? Was
But you know
this
what the
all
weird thing is, too?
Machiavellian?
There must have.
Did they get this retarded guy to like spend all of his money buying web domains and making all these social media accounts and sending them new cameras and stuff? Did this guy just get, is the real scam that they just scammed this guy? That's what I'm curious about. Who scammed who here is the real question, because this is really strange. And why would you even care if the guy edited it? You're clearly not going to do fucking anything, Keem. So why do you even care if the guy edited it? It doesn't make any sense. And you thought it was a good episode, so why not just release it?
Morrison is a super Irish name. The name he gave us was mega Irish. Well, yeah, maybe.
He
Yeah.
said, Keem, it's Ryan, games attorney. There must have been some confusion because I knew
Shaughnessy.
you were the boss and I was waiting for you to
Was it
engage.
Jim?
I'm sorry I made you mad. If I turned over the accounts, will you come back to the project? I know it's a probably no, but
Could you
That's what he
imagine
He wanted
someone in
you to
chat
say
said
no.
it?
He wanted
Someone
you
in
to say
chat said it's Brian Martin. Could you imagine if
That'd
he
be
called
great.
in this whole time and it?
Yeah, he's Sam
okay, so
Bagnall.
you're
Could
right.
you imagine? It's like,
I'm
hello,
looking-
it's Brit Bong returns. I've got you now.
Yeah, I would have to give him a W on that one. Oh,
So what's
geez.
crazy about this is he DM'd me, but he didn't DM me from his account. He DM'd me from the Lolcow podcast Twitter account. All this.
That was a.
You guys DM for your podcast. Keem, come on, send me the money. It's me, the podcast. Come on.
Yeah. Can you imagine me getting a DM from the podcast that's my idea?
Wait, but do you know why he DM'd you? Because you probably don't follow his main Twitter because you don't know who the fuck he is. So the only way he could contact you is with your show.
Yeah.
I love that everybody
I just
claims this
ignored everything.
podcast was their idea as well.
I feel sorry. I'm sorry to Wings. I'm sorry to Tommy. I'm sorry to everyone. But like,
Sorry
if
to
I was gonna
everyone,
do
but
this
I'm too
project,
lazy,
the only
and this
way
idea
would
was
be
retarded
to get him
anyway.
The fuck out of there.
So
Start from scratch.
I just don't
remake
care.
all the accounts. Actually create a business that we own. Like it would have to be a fucking business. There can't be no internet bullshit. Well, I own the Twitter account, so you're kicked off the show. Like
Yeah.
what? Like
I
look at Wings. Wings got kicked off of PKA, a fucking podcast he started. You want to know why? When he owned the channel. Like what the fuck?
Well, yeah, that's what
Gotcha,
happened.
bitches. Yeah, I think that's the entire story.
Someone in chat says Boogie and Wings need to say their side.
Sure.
Well, I will notify somebody because I know somebody who's going to be interviewing Boogie very soon.
It's Ryan Callahan. Yeah.
Dude, Ryan Callahan.
Well, actually, I'm looking at it right now. You might be able to figure out the name, but it might not be Irish. Come to think of it, I
Tommy's
thought he
so
shortened
retarded.
it, but it's not. I don't know who the guy is. I have no idea.
Dude,
who
it's
he
the
is.
other.
how
It's the other
weird is
games
that?
attorney named Ryan.
I don't know
Dude.
the guy
It's
is.
the other one.
How weird is that? You know, his name is Games Attorney, and his name's Ryan. How strange.
Well, you told me to
It's
stay.
almost like
Hey,
he copied
Keem, you told me to
somebody's
stay
identity.
away from him 7 years
Dude,
ago.
this is like, I don't know. Anybody
Well,
ever
Kim
see Better
forgot
Call Saul
over
where he
7
dresses
years.
up like the other guy and gets on the billboard with the same fucking name or whatever? And he's
Jesus
like, you can't
Christ.
do this. What do you? This is like trademarking. You're wearing the guy's same fucking outfit or whatever. Yeah.
Does this story make
You
sense
should
to
have sued
anybody?
him. For what? There's no money was made. What was Keem gonna sue for? Nothing,
It's
Mickey. Oh,
dude.
jeez.
Listen, games. It's Ryan Morrison is Howard Hamlin. Okay, that's what happened here, guys.
Now,
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
going back to Ryan Morrison, not this guy? Did he get did Ryan Morrison something happened between him and how did he screw H3? How did he screw H3?
I mean, you can go check. I think on the video that we did on Tom's channel, we went over it. Basically, what happened is like I don't know how much he got screwed, but that's what the
As of this time, this
they burned through
podcast
the
does not
entire
exist.
FUPA fund in like a year's worth of fucking legal stuff, and then
I
after
could
that,
not
it was-
find any
their thing went
evidence that this
significantly down when they
podcast was
picked up
ever
somebody who
released.
wasn't like the video game attorney.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might be not his fault. It might be his fault. But I remember the FUPA fund was supposed to be for everybody, and they
Yes.
literally burned through it immediately.
Well, do you remember for years they were hitting H3 up and saying, "Why haven't we seen money? How come no one's got a dime?" And then I guess he finally came out and said, "Well, because so and so went through it." So you don't know who's at fault there. It's both guys pointing fingers. You know. And
Does
Ryan
this make
Morrison
sense?
is video game attorney, not games attorney, says Jessix. I'm sorry. All the people who were involved here have dyslexia.
So, does this make sense to anybody? We've listened to some of this coping and pointing fingers. Does this make sense to anybody? Give me a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. I mean, apparently nobody gives a shit about this except for me because it involved DSP to start. But does anybody even give a shit? Well, just give me a 1 if you give a shit or 2 no. Because it's all so incompetent and retarded that it's nonsensical. You can't make any sense of this story. You're trying to set up a podcast. Nobody could do the podcast. They're all streamers. Nobody could do the podcast because they're waiting for cameras for a month. Everybody's no. Twos, all twos. It's all bullshit. You have literal people who make their living off of YouTube, off of podcasting, off of doing live streams. They already have cameras. They can't do this pilot without cameras. Does this make any sense? Some mysterious fucking account that nobody knows that is just in this group chat is somehow managing everything. Nobody's questioning it. Keem is saying, "Oh, I thought this guy is a helper." Tommy is saying, "Oh, thought this was Keem's manager." Oh, I thought, like, you know who Keem's manager is. I don't know. How can you get confused about this? What is the confusion? I don't understand. I just don't get any of this. This is all, it just makes you all look like worthless sacks of shit that don't deserve any money. Do you deserve to make any money off a podcast when you're this incompetent? I just want to get to the point where they show that they actually do have the podcast. That's yet to be released, but somebody has it.
Really can't put. Oh, it's because they're old. You can't put this.
Hey,
on
look,
them.
Nick, I got fooled 7 years ago. I knew it wasn't him. All right, I knew I was.
I knew it wasn't him. You got fooled, Tommy. You're an idiot. Either you got fooled or you intentionally sabotaged the whole fucking thing.
Download that.
We couldn't download it because no.
Okay, now listen to this
Yeah,
code.
yeah. No, you had the.
These are people that literally live on the internet.
He edited that.
Dude,
No, it's gone. It's gone.
No, get the podcast, steal the podcast, rip it.
I couldn't.
They can't delete a
It's
link.
gone.
It's in there.
It's
Tommy.
gone.
If
You
it's in
had
there,
you had the link at one point.
Yeah, I did.
So I
It's
remember.
gone.
I remember you had
It's
to go
gone.
down more.
It's
there's another
gone.
link.
Look, now Tommy is going to say, I think
No, you
Tommy
can't take a
personally,
link
the
out
way
if
Tommy
it's-
acts
if
during
it's-
this,
No.
He
it's
took the
obvious
drive
that
down. He took the
he
drive down.
sabotaged this whole
my
thing.
God!
It's
Dude,
obvious
you gotta
that
protect
he is
IP, all right?
complicit in this
no
sabotage.
piracy here.
Yeah,
He
I'll-
can't find the link.
There you go.
And you didn't. Nobody download. Keem, you didn't download that.
He
You
could.
couldn't
He,
download it
He
because
You
no,
couldn't download it.
no. We could watch it. We couldn't down. I tried to download it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the drive is only to
Wait, he
view it.
found one website where you could send somebody a video
Now,
that you.
you could literally, let's say there's no way that you could possibly download this, which is complete bullshit. I mean, if you have it on a streaming player, you could download it. You just got to figure it out. But you could download it. But let's pretend that you can't. It's impossible to download it that way. You could boot up OBS, make it full screen, and capture it in OBS, and let OBS just record it. And you have it. So there's no way that you don't know how to do that. You're a live streamer. You're using OBS right now. It doesn't make any sense.
Couldn't download from?
Yeah.
Yep.
He went out of his way to find a site
Game
like
doesn't
that.
know how to download it?
No, this is what I'm saying. When I got to the point where I called Tommy C and I said, hey, we got a problem. I don't know this guy, and he just made all the fucking social medias.
Wait.
We
Whoa!
like,
No, he has it. He just found it.
Yeah, but I can't download this.
I can't
Give it
download
like-
it. You don't want anybody to see it. Just admit that you don't
give
want
him the
anybody
link.
to see this.
Yeah.
give.
I'm gonna just scan this 4K video downloader quick.
Wait.
No, I
Wait,
tried.
nobody's
I
thought
tried.
about
this is
until we went
42
live.
minutes long.
I tried it. It didn't work.
42
Hurry
minutes.
up.
No,
Go,
Tommy
give
didn't
it
try
to
hard.
Nick.
Hurry before he privates
No.
this shit.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I tried it just
I'm,
now. It doesn't work.
No, give it to Nick. Nick can do it.
I'm working.
He's
I'm
not
working.
doing it.
I'm cooking.
Okay, listen. This is what we're gonna do. All right. I'm making the executive decision as the actual owner of Lolcow Podcast, which I can defend in
Lolicon
court that this
Podcast.
is my idea. Lolcow Podcast. We are releasing this first episode, which will be the pilot, right? That will shop around and we'll get funding, we'll get sponsors, and we'll do this the right way. This first episode is going to be free to watch tomorrow on Tommy C's channel.
Really? If we get it, I don't think we get it. The only thing I could probably do now is restart the stream and play it live.
Tommy, I think we're already downloading it at this point. It's already.
I'm trying.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
We're
'cause I've
gonna
done
get it. We're
I
gonna
did
get it. Do it live. I said, fuck it. No, we're gonna do it live. That fucking clip, that meme.
But that's the thing. If I play it, do I get a lawsuit? I've got nothing to. I can't.
What?
Yeah.
You do you know who owns this?
Who?
You know who owns this?
You.
If I play it, do I get a lawsuit?
I have no.
You know
Actually,
this is
yeah.
just
I have
garbage.
nothing in writing.
Just admit it,
We all
Tommy.
own this.
This
Why
StreamYard
would-
clip has nothing to do with the trademark or anything else.
Yeah, how does games
If
attorney
I
own
play it,
this?
will
He
I
doesn't
get a
own it.
lawsuit?
I don't know. I don't think he does.
Okay, bro.
If he try, well, we could name it something else. Call it the.
I was gonna say honestly, just rename it and recreate everything how it should have been. The name is the least important part of this, right? Like that can be changed.
Notice Tommy refuses to play this.
I say once we download
And he
it,
can't
let's
figure out
just
how to
actually put it
download
in, and
this.
it's
He can't figure out how to just. It's only 42
True.
minutes long.
And
How you doing,
I
Nick?
literally have DMs with this guy fucking basically
Nobody.
saying,
Keem
like,
couldn't decide.
"You're the
Keem
boss,
couldn't
it was
figure
my
out how to
understanding
download.
you're
Nobody
the
could
boss,
figure out how to
so no way
download
he's
this.
suing me.
Nobody who could figure out how to get a copy of this.
Gamble, Seth. Do what he says. Release it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
Also,
Still not released.
you know,
this was like
we
10
might be
days ago.
painting Games Attorney like some
11
evil
days ago.
bastard, like trying to like own the.
He might be
show or
stupid.
whatever.
It's possible.
But maybe in his mind, he's just thinking like, oh, I want to help the show. I want to be involved in some way.
Why do you think
give it
he
to
doesn't
us.
want to play it?
What's
Why
that?
do you think he doesn't want to play this fucking
I was
podcast?
right there with you, but no, he's done
Refuses
anything
to play
help.
it. He's had this copy now
It
for
feels like
months.
he's guarding this. That's what it feels.
Why
like.
do you think he refuses to try to get it or play it?
Well, I find it so fucking.
Team doesn't
funny
know
that,
how to
like,
fucking boot
you
it
know,
into
you get all this
OBS.
shit
Tommy,
thinking, like,
Boogie,
oh,
and
I'm
Wing.
super
Nobody knows
done
how to
with
get
this.
this podcast.
I
feel
have
like
it now.
it.
I'll send
Tommy,
it.
would you like to screen
42
share
minutes
for us?
long.
I am screen sharing, aren't I? Or do you want me to see? You got it?
Just
No,
just take a look at my screen share real fast, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah,
Now,
we both got it
Diorio
now.
has
gonna
this
do better.
downloaded literally within 30 seconds. Of course, you'll never see it. It'll never see the light of day since Diorio has it. Nobody will ever see it.
I fucked up, Dan. Yeah. Looks like we got it.
Okay.
Okay, we got it.
All right. Good.
Okay,
deal.
we got it.
You know what? I'm setting up a
We got
new
it in 2
Twitter
seconds.
Group chat.
Yeah.
2 seconds. We got
Right
it.
now.
Still not
It's
released.
out right now too.
Okay, I'm in.
I'm in.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Look, Tommy looking real fucking nervous. Look at Tommy there. Look at
Change the
Tommy.
name of it, like the Lolcows.
The Lolcast.
Looking
The
real
Lolcast.
nervous, scratching his head.
The Lolcasters.
God, it's so hard to get fucking Wings and or to find his Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, he's Jordy Jordan.
Okay, got Wings.
Make
in.
sure not to invite Brian Morse. Somebody wrote.
All right, guys, we're gonna call this new podcast "Mad at the Internet 2." Guys, welcome to the Lolcow Podcast number 2. That's the name of it, Lolcow Podcast 2. Return of the Lolcows.
Hey, buddy. Just an
I'm
insane
adding you to make
situation.
sure I'm adding. You're going to be in the group chat to make sure people aren't stupid.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll go set up the trademark. I'll go
If you need a
trademark.
retarded handler, let me know.
I'm gonna go buy the URL, team. All right.
So what do you think happened with this? Because this is a great mystery to me. You think it was just garbage? I can't. There's so many possibilities in why they abandoned this, and then we get this weird cope stream that doesn't make any sense to anybody. So it turns out that this guy is holding the streams hostage, but he's really not, because they have the streams. It's just that they won't release them. Nobody, apparently Wings is not responding. Nobody knows who added this person. It could have been DSP. It could have been Wings. Tommy doesn't know anything, except he knows it's a fake troll account for like 7 years, but he didn't say anything because he thought it was Keem's manager, which is complete bullshit. Keem doesn't know anything, which is possible. I mean, Keem probably stopped giving a fuck about this project 6 months ago. But, I mean, it exists, but they refuse to release it. So, I've had enough. But, here, we'll go into, here. DSP is going to give his response to it. This was just a few days ago.
Yeah. So that was pretty much our day out. You know, we came home and I think we watched some guy was playing Starfield. We watched someone play Starfield for an hour.
We watched somebody play He's watching people play
We
Starfield
did
with his wife.
watch, previously having seen some videos about his past when he used to make those Francis videos and stuff like that.
Oh, hold on a
But I
second.
didn't know too much previously.
He's going to
And
talk a lot of shit
I
about
think we
Boogie.
watched some guy was playing Starfield. We watched someone play Starfield for an hour or two. You know, nothing too major. We did watch the new documentary by June the King. His latest documentary was about Boogie. Now, I know about Boogie from previously having seen some
Now, don't forget, DSP bitterly hates everybody who makes documentaries about him because they paint him in a bad light, and it's all slander and lies. And you shouldn't believe anything that's in his documentary. But when he watches documentaries on these other people like Keem or Boogie or Wings or whoever, I don't think he's watched a documentary on Tommy. Nobody gives a fuck about Tommy. But when he watches it, he believes everything that's said about these people, verbatim, no questions asked.
some videos about his past when he used to make those Francis videos and stuff like that. But I didn't know too much about the real Boogie or the modern Boogie or anything that had been going on with this guy. You know, I didn't even know the whole story about the full story about the guy who went to his house and harassed him, and then he did a warning shot, and then he got into trouble for it. I didn't even know the whole story of that, you know? So, watching this
When are we going to
documentary
get a
was
warning shot from
fascinating.
Phil?
And very informative. And I'll be honest with you guys, it
Very
kind
informative.
of made my eyes open to a lot of the ways that Boogie behaves and or the ways that Boogie has behaved against me in the last year. You know, this is a guy
Boogie
that
is a huge
I
piece
had
of
very
shit.
little interaction with. The only interactions I really had with the guy were very, very positive interactions.
Right.
And then
But he's a huge piece of
he
shit.
reached out to me about being on a podcast together. I said I would consider it. Yeah, let's talk about it. And then he, I guess, was the one
was
who
really
decided
Boogie's
to
idea.
against it because he wanted to team up with Keemstar to do the podcast and make more money. And then he apparently, and I don't even know, because again, I don't follow these people on Twitter. I want no involvement. Apparently, he's talked shit about me and stuff. I'm like, what shit could he even possibly talk about me? We've had nothing but just a few behind the scenes, very nice conversations.
How could you talk shit about me?
Stuff. I don't know how he could even, like, we don't have enough interaction for him to even talk shit. It doesn't make sense. But apparently he did. Apparently he publicly talked shit about me. Good for him, right? What a nice guy.
About you masturbating?
Only for all of that, I guess, to come back in his own face, because guess what? It is October 13th, 2023. Are you aware of any podcast that's come out from those guys yet? So, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, well, you know, the nice cordial conversations we were having, our show would have
Bill
started
destroyed it.
Our show would have been very positive. Our show would have been constructive and meaningful to our audiences. It wouldn't have been a show just about making fun of each other and being stupid, calling each other lolcows and shit. You know, it would have been good. It would have been an actual nice, productive thing. And who knows what actually happened there. But
who knows what happened?
You know,
nobody knows
right?
what happened.
I don't know, and I don't really care.
He doesn't know, and he doesn't really care.
You know, as you guys know, I've fully removed myself from any involvement with drama. I'm done with it. I'm not going to have any involvement with any of these fucking people.
Did Phil destroy the podcast? Is this Phil confirming right here that this games lawyer fake troll account was planted by DSP to make sure that this podcast never happened without him? He planted a sleeper agent in this group, even though I was saying just earlier, I don't believe that Phil could actually pull this off. But let's believe, let's open our minds to the possibilities. Infinite possibilities. Let's roll it back. Let's open our mind to this. Phil placed an undercover agent in there to completely destroy this podcast. Completely destroy it. You can see he's gloating here. He's like, look, have you seen an episode of this podcast? They've been talking about it for months and months and months. Nobody's seen it. Nobody's heard about it. Team hasn't said a peep about it. Team hasn't said a peep about me. What do you think happened here, guys? Do you think DSP, the Machiavellian master, destroyed this podcast? Just destroyed it. No survivors. Just completely, as soon as he was out of the deal and he couldn't cut out Keem, he fucking lit that shit on fire.
People who are going to try to pull me into their vortex of drama and shit. I'm here to be here for you guys, right? So I'm happy because I'm watching this documentary with my wife.
He's happy.
And we're like, wow, it seems like another bullet dodged. You know, because who would know what would have happened if you involve yourself with people like that? And this guy seems to be the kind of guy that always is going back and forth, flip-flopping between, I'll do this, then he does the opposite. Well, I'm going to do this, then he does the opposite. So who knows what would have happened, right? If I had actually involved myself with this guy in any kind of a capacity, right? So anyway, I'm happy with the way things worked out.
I know you are,
Phil. But man, watching that documentary, it's like, and all that shit, you know, it covers up to that now, I think. And just not gonna say nothing further than that. All right. So anyway,
Boogie's a big piece of shit.
Yeah, it was a good day off, I would say. Pretty much, we did a lot of fun stuff, a lot of busy stuff. I'm happy we got the costume, a good dinner, relaxing night. Everything worked out pretty good. So that is the Phil's Day Off segment. Woohoo! I'm sure you guys are very excited to hear all about that. All right. Now, before we get to a big chunky news
on
segment,
Phil's Day Off, he fucking went out to dinner with his wife and watched a Boogie documentary with his wife. That was his day off. Totally unplanned. I guess that was totally unplanned too, Phil.
Today, because my goodness,
just coincidentally, it was about Boogie.
To talk about today. I'd like to do a minor follow-up to what we talked about the other day in regards to night streams and moderation. All right.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to cover this.
Then I would like to give you the schedule for the week. All right.
Then I'm going to wrap
we'll
this up.
There, probably into the news segment. So, our discussion the other day was as follows. I was wondering why night streams were having higher attendance, but basically a lot of people complaining about the situation on them and why I had a series of low support night streams. It was kind of confusing.
You banned everyone.
The feedback I got was very simple. The regulars don't want to be there for the night streams because on the night streams, usually I'm playing a multiplayer game like the Modern Warfare 3 beta or Street Fighter 6. And as I'm playing, I can't focus.
You complain bitterly.
On talking with the people in the chat. And when that happens, I lose focus. I can't look. That's when the trolls roll in. And they usually come in with new accounts, right? They usually come in with, these socks so that no one really knows who they are. but all of a sudden they all talk to each other like they know each other. They're all constantly doing what's considered sneak disses. I mean, they're not going to come into the chat and outright say nasty things, but they're going to say really insulting, dumb things that are just going to get everyone and rub them the wrong way.
So people are going to come into these new accounts are going to, you know, make their way into Phil's chat, and they're going to say things that are sneak disses in quotation. This has been going on with Phil forever now. This has spiraled completely out of control to the point of something is going on with Phil lately. You can see he looks very tired. He looks very burnt out. He's not making any money. And he's gotten so paranoid at this point. If anybody says anything in his chat that's not, wow, Phil, you're great, it's a sneak diss. And he wants these people immediately banned. But the problem is he doesn't have any moderators anymore because people just refuse now to mod because Phil wants everybody banned. You put a cherry, you put a fucking strawberry, you put a whatever, you put a smiley face, you put, oh, wow, Phil, you know, oh, wow, you got bodied or something, or you know, look at the lag on the screen or whatever. Banned. Immediate. You will get banned. You will see Phil will, when he's not playing game, he's too distracted during the stream. He's complaining. He's way too distracted because he's actually doing something. Instead of just like staring at the chat and responding to like Derek all day, he's actually doing something. He's playing games. So he can't immediately ban you. He can't do that lean over ban. I can't tell you how many times I've been lean over banned for like nothing. I think the last time I was lean over banned, it was a few months ago on his new DSP Reacts channel where mysteriously my account wasn't already banned. And I said something like, it looks like your wife took a bite out of that sandwich. Immediate. I was banned within 2 seconds. It was like one comment because it looked mangled. Whatever he fucking ordered from Grubhub looked completely fucking mangled. I'd have to look up that stream, but it looked completely mangled. So I said, oh, it looks like your wife took a bite out of your sandwich. Banned. Like immediate, within half a second, he leaned over and banned me. And that was it. So this is what Phil does like all day. He just dedicates like the streams to banning people. That's what he means by interaction with the chat, is banning people from the chat who post any kind of comment that is not, wow, Phil, I love you. Okay. And he's getting very mad because all the mods have basically quit.
They try to start fights in the chat, and essentially
they're trying to start fights in the chat.
When I'm done, oh, let's take a break, and I come back. Of course, now they're silent. Right?
There's no one in the chat, Phil.
So people have been saying that over the last couple of weeks, they've noticed this getting worse and worse, and a lot of regulars have said, we used to show up to attend and support your late night streams, and we're not going to do it anymore because there's just not enough control. And this actually,
there's not enough control. Do you believe anybody has said this to Phil? Do you believe any legitimate Phil fan has said, I'm not going to listen to you scream at playing Street Fighter because there are people in the chat making innocuous comments. So I'm not going to show up anymore and I'm not going to donate.
God smacked me. And the reason I say that is years ago, people always complained there was too much moderation. They said, Phil, your streams are too locked down. You have too many mods. They're too trigger happy. Everyone is constantly taking control of the stream.
They're literally just banning people for having a different name than they recognize.
2 years ago when I was getting that feedback. I directly listened to that feedback. And I said, all right, here's what we're going to do.
His mods got so crazy 2 years ago. If you had a name that wasn't recognized already by the chat, by his mods, as a Phil fan, like a diehard Phil, they just ban you. You wouldn't even say anything. You'd just say whatever. You could say anything. You could say a random word. Banned.
We're going to be way more lax on moderation. I'm going to tell my mods they don't have to be as crazy strict, And what's happened is the last few years, some of the moderators have slowly just kind of retired and didn't really say anything publicly, but they just kind of said, we're going to walk off and not become mods anymore or not be mods anymore. And as you know, I talked about this. We had one or two idiots who were trolls, literally catfishing everyone. Which, think about how useful that was.
Catfishing everyone.
Came out of that, right? As you know, such horrible leaks and things have happened as a result of someone catfishing us as a moderator. So that was a really big use of time, wasn't it? But anyway, overall,
why do you care?
over the last, I'd say year and a half, moderation has become very lax on my streams. I will openly admit it. That was honestly an active choice of mine, because I got so much feedback saying, Phil, when we're on your streams, it's like lockdown. We don't want that. We want to have a more casual environment and have everyone feel kind of...
It is lockdown. It still is.
Fine, let's change it. So now I changed it, and now here we are in a situation where I'm getting the opposite feedback. Phil, you're too lax. You don't have enough moderation. And now everything is too much about these trolls making a good old boys club and trying to make people feel, not welcome. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I was like, you can't win one way. You can't win the other way.
What is he talking about?
So I guess it's a point where I have to find that moderation point.
Is this just a product of Phil's mind?
I did have a conversation with my moderators over the last couple of days. Sadly, I hate to say it, I don't think that many of them or any of them are going to be able to really step up and moderate any more than they already are. A lot of these people are very busy. They come in and they help moderate when they can, and I'm very grateful for when they do show up, and that's very nice of them. But none of these people are paid employees. They're just fans like you and me. They come by when they can to moderate if they have time. But it's just not a priority for them. I didn't hold anyone to that level of standard because you guys told me you didn't need moderation as much and you wanted things more lax, so I did what you said. Well, I've now gotten, of course, absolutely flooded with people who want to be moderators, all right? And when you get flooded, it's like, okay, so now what do you do, right?
All these people want to be mods, but they're all catfish mods.
And it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to see it every night. You're not, all right? But basically, you're going to see maybe some more handful of people who are going to be moderators, and they're not going to be here all the time. They're going to be coming in whenever they're available.
Yeah.
So you may see it immediately. You
when
may
the
not
mods
see
come,
it for
ban
days. You may see it
everyone.
for 2 days in a row, and then not for a week. It all depends. But again, I'm not holding people accountable. I'm not going to be, oh, you must be there to moderate. They're volunteers. Right? They're not people who are paid employees who need to, get yelled at for not fucking being there.
Well, that's the thing that came out from the catfish mods is that Phil literally screams at these mods and says, you have to be there or else I'll just ban you. If you don't Janny for me, you're getting banned.
Ridiculous. But I got a few people who I'm going to essentially become trial mods, and when they come in,
trial mods, they're not going to last long.
Particularly, you should see them probably on nighttime streams moving forward if they can make it. It won't be every night, but if you see them here, abide by the rules. I've basically told them. Here's what I told them. If you see someone who seems to be suspect, someone who's acting up or trying to basically, and the thing is, what I mean by that is a lot of the people who are coming by to troll at night are not outright trolls. They're not coming in here and immediately saying awful things about me or my wife or the work or anything. They come in and they sneak diss, right? So, for example,
sneak diss. Here we go. We're going to get more descriptions of the sneak diss.
Playing Street Fighter, and they'll literally every match say, "Oh, you played so poorly. You're horrible. Oh, wow, that guy is like a top level player. He's absolutely dominated you." You can tell what they're here for.
Banned.
They're just here to create that negative environment around the stream to completely contradict anything I say on a stream, make me look like
you can't say I did poorly.
Right?
No banned. You can't say somebody else is a top player. Banned.
Constantly restreaming me and shit. Go watch their streams. I urge you to go watch their streams. If that's
go
your
watch the restreams.
Is to basically sit here and be toxic. Then go to the toxic place. This is not the toxic place.
I will say this about the detractor community, quotation marks. Phil's restreams get triple the viewers that Phil gets. Just because they have an unmoderated chat. So you already know that what Phil is saying is complete nonsense. I mean, literally, these streams that are sometimes just raw, rebroadcast. Sometimes they'll play like little music, or they'll play with like the screen or a little bit, or they'll have GIFs on the screen. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people watch these restreams. It literally fills almost entire audience. Phil's actual streams get like 300 to 400 viewers. Normal. His regular streams, 200 to 400. And then his restreams get thousands and thousands of viewers. His clip channels literally clip every single day, like Snort Burnell, the most dedicated troll I've ever seen in my life, literally releases a video a day on Phil. Sometimes 2 videos a day on Phil, fully edited and everything. It's got to be like an AI or something. I just don't understand it. But that's the end of the Phil segment. I know people don't care about Phil, but I love talking about Phil because I find him just fascinating. Now, that's my segment. I don't know when we're gonna do the. I don't know when we're gonna end up doing the horror show. It's like trying to wrangle cats, and I've been working so much that it's very difficult for me to wrangle all the cats together. And everybody is mysteriously busy or has things going on or whatever. Some people can show up, then other people they can't show up, but then they. So I don't know when we're going to be doing the horror streams. I know Ralph was down to show up. But Ralph is my buddy, so that's not a shock. I'll just open it up. We'll open it up for if you got any questions, if you got anything that you want me to see for the next 5 minutes, I'll open it up. I'll play a song here. And then we'll wrap it up. Because I just wanted to touch on this Lolcow. Nobody's talking about it, so I just wanted to touch on it. Let me do this in like a fucking MIDI version or something. So if I try to upload this onto YouTube, it won't immediately get flagged down. Is Godwinson still alive? Been a while since his sector news alert. He's on the mothership. He returned to the mothership. Elaine is holding him hostage. Scratch your beard into the mic. It's the highlight of your stream. I need a new headset. I hate this headset. I'm going to take a hammer to it. There's no reason why it should be capturing like every little sound in the room. The sound cancellation is all the way up. Everything's all the way up. It shouldn't even be able to pick up things on that decibel level. It doesn't make any sense. I've tested it 50 times. It doesn't make any sense. Where's the PP Pikachu GIF? I don't know. I haven't even watched their show, to be honest. The last I heard, I see pictures of him as the Kool-Aid guy on Twitter. I see they're watching COG clips. They're so desperate that Andy is painting PPP down with red paint, and they're watching COG clips. So the level of desperation over there is just very sad. Yes, I saw the Ralph and Gator Twitter fight. Gator, of course, completely blown out. Ralph completely sober there. I mean, you could see. I mean, it's so easy to tell when Ralph is fucked up and when he's not. I mean, it's very clear that Ralph is not fucked up on any kind of drugs. He's painted as something else every stream. Well, if they wanted to make content, a suggestion to Fat Fuck. If they wanted to make some kind of other content, why not just paint him live on the stream? I mean, better than watching a COG clip, just paint him live. Just do that, you'd make more money. What's the point of painting him off camera? For you to flail around and react to a COG clip? It doesn't make any sense. And I can't even force myself to watch it. This doesn't make any sense. Just paint him live. Make that the show. Make that a portion of the show. Just Andy painting him. Well, I'm sure that was Worski's idea to paint him. The guy who used to scream that he wasn't a joke and that he'd never let anybody make him into a joke. Painting himself. Very sad. That Borsky is the one buying the paint. Can you imagine the state of that bathroom? Just shit and fucking multicolored paint everywhere. I mean, where they hose him out outside? They just hose him down to get that off? I just don't even understand it. All right, enough about those two. Are there any other questions before I wrap this up? And I hope everybody's having a very nice Sunday. Yeah, they aren't clowns for our amusement. He'll never be a clown for our amusement. He'll never humiliate himself for the audience. Except that's literally the entire show now. They take a shower together. I don't think two people can fit in the shower with people. I don't think another person could fit in the shower with PPP at this point. He's well over 400 pounds. It's frightening the way that he's gaining weight. It's really scary to me. Andy probably doesn't clean the toilet like Surfer. Nobody cleans the toilet like Surf. Surfer kept a very clean house. A room-size shower. You think they got one of those fancy showers where it's a whole room and you pull the lever and then the shower is literally the whole ceiling? It's possible. I think he'd need that at this point. I don't know how he's washing off all that paint. Okay, I think that's all the question. The amount of money they spend on random shit, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, they're going broke. So, good for them. Those slot machines really worked out well. Whatever the money was that they fucking spent on that shit. Are there any other, anything outside of DSP? I mean, anything outside of PPP. I just couldn't give a fuck less at this point. It's just gotten so, like, it's unwatchable. If that's what they're trying to do, they won. You won, Ashton. You won. I can't watch your show. Yes, I know all about the begging for anti-Ralph content. It's not working out well. They got Gator. To do his epic takedown where he talks about how much he wants to suck Jim off and how great Jim is. I mean, hold on. Well, you know what? I got these. I've retweeted them, so I know I have them on my timeline. Let's see. Okay.
Gator, you're just...
I'll pull this up. This is Gator here. He says, laugh my ass off, bro. You literally sound drunk as fuck. So, okay, here. We'll play this. Does Ralph sound drunk as fuck in this?
I'm not strung. Jack off. I'm not strung out. You're just a dumbass. I can't help it that I beat your ass all over Twitter anytime you try to compare wits with the master. There's a reason I was your boss for all those years. There's a reason people come to watch me, not you.
Keep in mind, it's at like 2 a.m.
Loser who stopped doing the one good thing he ever did because his daddy Jim made fun of him. Can't you go jack off to some underage anime girls and just leave me alone, loser?
That's Ralph drunk off his ass, according to Gator.
Lying again. Why do you even bother? I mean, I have a breathalyzer, for fuck's sake.
Twitter is such a pain in the ass. I can't make it big without fucking up the whole thing. You could see it's 0.
0, 0, 0. Kind of like your career accomplishments.
So, but Gator desperately crying out for Daddy Jim, who's dying of cancer. Let's see. Trying to say it's a fake breathalyzer. You know, it's tough, man. It's tough stuff. Oh, I do want to play this. Salvo had an interesting night.
Back up.
If you missed, you definitely have to watch Salvo stream on Kick last night. Why isn't it showing in the... Oh, I know why it's not showing. I'm not playing it on the right screen, on the right window.
Yes, yes. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
You have to throw it like you mean it.
Stay hard, as hard as you can.
Excessive now, just fly through it.
So Salvo had an amazing stream last night. I do want to plug this because this was an amazing experience last night. Salvo, you know what? I'll just pull up the Salvo Kick stream. We'll do a little Salvo segment here because it was an amazing stream. Hold on, I gotta find the. Salvo criminally underrated. So last night, Salvo had a game show, quotations, game show, where literally everybody got blackout drunk and did insane things for $100. Kick works like shit. So this bitch has this giant bottle of booze.
I found it.
He's got Dodal here, which was his old co-host, a nice guy. Let's see. So they're drinking. And this is his new co-host, this black guy who's like an IP2 streamer who's completely out of control. And he doesn't, alcohol really, has no effect on this guy. He just goes nuts. He's energized.
I'll eat a raw egg right now. I'm fine with that.
Challenge accepted.
Accepted.
Sin.
Go
So
ahead,
outfit Sin, I love.
They literally made her get a carton of eggs out of her fridge, and she had to do stuff with the eggs. Just insane stuff with the eggs until she had no more eggs.
Hey, go get a raw egg.
I think I've had
Go
7
get a raw
more
egg.
shots than
Wow.
you. Go ahead.
Sin.
Get caught up.
Yeah.
Get caught up.
Sin a little
Please
blessed back
get
there.
caught up, motherfucker. God damn.
Okay, so Sin's going to get a raw egg.
No, Sin is a normal girl.
She's an inspiration, dude.
Will you match her on the raw egg?
Yeah, fuck it.
There's
fuck it.
$100 here, by the way. There's $100 at stake. Chat is voting.
All right.
Chat votes on the $100. Sit there. I'll bring it to you.
Come on, everybody.
Okay.
You know what's me.
Give me
You know what's
give
me.
me a ball.
You're
So it's like make them happy, and you'll
So now
be
they're
going
gonna
away
make
with
her
a
eat raw eggs.
Benjamin.
Bro, I'm kicking it. I don't know what chat wants. If they want to talk to me, tag me. Tell me what they want done.
Hard to keep down. Hard to keep.
Wait.
So we will wait until Sin comes back. Sin, do you have the? Show us the egg. Will you eat it with the shell?
No, Sin is not a troon.
Huh?
She's got
Will
2
you
kids.
eat it with the shell?
No.
She's a real woman.
Okay. All right. So
She's just 7. She's got a little bit of a strong chin, but she's a real woman.
you and Frio are gonna eat it at the same time, okay?
Okay, hold on. I know you don't like spills. Hold on.
I don't like spills.
Okay, they're gonna eat raw eggs here.
I always
This is
think
all
of
for
Rocky
$100,
Balboa.
and they're
Oh,
completely wasted at this point. They've taken at least 10 shots apiece.
Yeah. And guys, The chat is voting on who's
I know
winning.
she's got some nice titties on her.
So it's like make them happy, and you'll be going away with a crisp Benjamin.
I've seen a lot worse.
Bro, I'm kicking it. I don't know what chat wants. If they want to talk to me,
I think you're thinking of
tag
another
me,
Sin,
tell me
yeah.
what they want done in the back.
Okay, Frio's cracking his. Sin?
Okay.
Sin, crack yours. And
Okay,
Frio's down to...
He's down his raw. Down their raw eggs.
And it's gone.
And
He
Sin
had no problem
down
there.
hers. Wow. Very good.
Protein.
Hold on, let me make this a little better. I can put this in picture. I could just capture the picture in picture. I can make this look a little better. Wait, where's my picture in picture? Should be able to capture that incident. Okay, there we go. Do a little promo for Salvo. Okay. That looks better. Looks much better.
She stepped away. Let it be known that your boy, Captain
threw it in the
Model,
garbage.
Nick Sweat, didn't to the night.
They just have her do insane
coffee
shit with
ground.
eggs.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Alright, I'm putting some nerd things on it.
They make this guy, this fat black
You've been
guy,
sitting there pretty.
eat a garbage
I
sandwich.
mean, I've had.
This sandwich is low key fire.
My fault.
Oh,
it
no, the
doesn't
song.
work if you just-
Just people getting wasted.
Nah, no. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
No.
Mend it in half one more time.
They make Noddle eat a cigarette,
Good?
which
Yep.
I think is the
Yep.
grossest
I'm
stunt
not
of the
cheating.
night.
All right, you good?
Yep.
Yeah.
They make him eat the cigarette, which is disgusting.
Holy
We missed the
shit.
garbage sandwich, but you can't really see it in that little.
Did you guys watch
Time.
the fuck? What was it? The name of the House of Usher TV series on Netflix this weekend? Fucking great.
Okay. There we go.
Dude.
There we go.
Holy shit.
We have some real competitors tonight.
Dude, what the fuck?
Uh-oh.
It's not because I'm asking you to pause for me throwing out. I'm asking you to pause for the cause. 1 second.
He's so fucked up. He ate the cigarette. He doesn't even know where he is.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
Everybody
All right,
chant
let's
for
good.
Nado real
Good
quick.
job.
Nado.
Twilight. Let's do.
Okay.
Eggs.
No,
No
you're
egg.
fucking competition.
Go egg your husband.
The inside of your head. Wait, we have to see.
We have to see it. We have to see the eggs.
Turn the camera so we can
Tilt the
see.
camera up just a little bit.
And she's
just a
so
little
drunk
bit.
she can barely walk. She's gonna egg her wall.
Okay,
Let's go. Throw it hard. Throw it hard.
You gotta
Hard
throw
as
it like
fuck.
you mean it. If you don't
Hard
throw
as
it like you
fuck.
mean it, it
Come on.
doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Remember, this is for 100.
You gotta make it go splash.
Dude, your husband is gonna fucking flip the fuck out.
At that wall. Throw it at
Matter of fact, go egg your husband. that would only take 1 egg.
You can egg your house for 3 eggs, or you can egg your husband for 1 egg.
You have to get him good while he sleep.
Sin, it's time to throw the eggs at that wall.
I fucking love this show.
You gotta throw the eggs at that wall, Sin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You got it in you. I know you do.
Okay, can you see this wall?
Yes.
Check
Yeah.
this.
Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
You have to throw it like you mean it.
Stay hard, as hard as you can.
Set him down. Just fly through it.
I
love you. Come on.
Shell it all. Shell it
Now,
all.
Noddle is going to be the first one to go down.
L.
He's so wasted he can't even see
Correct.
anymore. He's blind drunk.
Trapezoid.
Enjoy that fucking.
Oh my god.
So Noddle is completely like has alcohol poisoning.
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't have to write out.
So she's not a writer.
Trying to do push-ups on the
I
floor,
mean,
but
I
she
did
can't even
cheerleading in high
make it.
school.
Okay.
So Noddle,
Sin,
I just
Sin,
want
what
to
are
get
you
one
doing?
Noddle.
This program tonight.
Dude, he doesn't. Tommy C doesn't like you, son.
I'll repeat.
Talking about.
Right?
So, okay. So Noddle completely destroys his set, trying to figure out like what's even going on. Completely blackout drunk.
Yes.
And then passes out on the desk.
That's the kind of shit that we're talking about.
You alright, bro?
What's happening now?
He fucking sideswiped the fuck out of his microphone in his camera. Isn't it obvious, bro? Like this
Noddle's
guy
down.
fucking punched the shit out of his fucking
You're
camera.
very, very close. Don't worry. Just trying to find my microphone head.
Rudy.
Fucking inside of fence. There's so many dudes.
Guys.
Some fucking emission. There's
Take one more shot.
Yeah.
I like
So-
my last round. Last round.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So Noddle passes out.
We need White Claws.
Okay.
Drunk. Oh my god.
It's okay.
So now,
Camera up. You need to put an egg on the ground and sit on it, and then smash an egg on your face. Okay. And then this is the last round.
This is the
humiliating
last
women
round.
with eggs. A new IP. This is like
Because
new
I say
IP2 content.
They're gonna wake up,
Salvo's
mommy. I want
creating.
eggs. They're all gone.
Listen, I said fuck
Look,
no
look,
5 rounds ago.
look,
Sin, is it on your
Easy.
face?
You.
Sin.
She rubs the egg on her face and then eats it.
Okay, we need you to sit on the other one.
Sit on the other one like you mean it.
Sewer slut would be so
Look,
proud.
the egg
Wait,
soul in her
tilt the
hand.
camera down. She needs to clean
Oh
off
my
the
god,
chair.
I'm so drunk. Oh my god.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
Sewer slut would be so proud. Honestly. Throw eggs. Throw eggs. Throw eggs. Throw some more eggs. Just throw some
And
more
boom,
eggs.
she goes
come on,
down.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
She goes down after
Sewer
she
slut.
after
Wait,
she
what'd you
does
do?
that.
Wait.
Where you
did
at?
she-
We can't see you.
She's done. Now Noddle is out within 10 minutes.
Sin.
This girl's sin is done.
All we see is the camera move.
She's gone.
She just collapsed.
But
Sin.
that's
Sin, are you okay?
Her entire
Every 21
her entire
seconds, and that
office or
means
whatever
we
the fuck
win.
this is completely destroyed. Eggs are everywhere.
come on, Sin. Don't let these niggers win. Don't let these niggers win, Sin. 19, 18, 17,
Yeah, I think she's passed out, bro.
She doesn't have no husband.
14,
She fucking sat down with the
13.
sleep.
12, 11,
She's done.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2.
1.
Lift
The
off.
niggers won?
Lift off.
Fuck, dude. Salvo gives $100 to his
Dude, she's fucking gone,
Salvo.
bro.
Yeah.
She passed out, bro.
She's
to
done.
A charity of your choice, bro.
Sin?
She passed out, bro. She's gone.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So, Sin won. She won the $100 after smashing an egg in her hair and all over her face and eating it. She literally blacks out, hits the ground, and she's done with egg all over that room. And she won $100. So if you want to watch the new IP2 content that Salvo is producing, I highly recommend it. And where he literally gets these people completely obliterated, and then they humiliate themselves for the camera for $100. I highly recommend it. It was a great stream. But I spoiled it a little bit, but there's a lot of little things in there that are great that I didn't even touch on. So highly recommend Salvo's new content that he's putting out. And that's that. That's the end of the stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was just it was a slow Sunday stream. Listen, there's not a whole lot going on that I really care about. I did want to touch on that Lolcow podcast stuff because I find it fascinating. Nobody else does. There's just no interest in it. But I was just more interested in how you could fuck up a stream that bad. So, and this is a horrible time slot. I'm definitely no longer doing streams on Sunday afternoon. It's just the only time I have, but I'm going to have to figure out how to do a stream on Friday night. So I appreciate everybody coming out, and I hope you will join me for next time. And I'll edit out a little bit of music and I'll upload this on YouTube. See you guys next time. Juice!